Hello and welcome back to Kaiserreich. We're still trying to build up some support. Or yeah, what do we need to get to? 250? Something like that. We need less than 249, so we need 249. So we need an additional, like, 60 or something. We want Turkish nationalists and conservative. We would really love more Turkish nationalists. Yeah, because they're, like, wholly in the opposition. The loss of manpower is pretty bad, but, like... Let's see. 9 deputies. 13 independents. I want independence. I want independence. Hold on. Oh, these guys are Turkish nationalists. Yes, I'm just going to do Adana twice. There you go. Does that change things that much? We're up to 211. Which is, like, not good. Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? Oh, it doesn't matter. Okay. We actually want to lose popularity. Okay. Man. Okay. Battle of the Massacre in Al-Qurna. The site of the now famous Battle of Al-Qurna. During the initial phase of the Mesopotamian campaign, the well-created eponymous city of Al-Qurna became home to a large community of Assyrian refugees and settlers following the war. While relations between the Assyrian settlers and the local, predominantly Madan Arab populations have never been warm, tensions escalated earlier this week as 30 Assyrian settlers were massacred in a raid on their quarter with destruction of more than 50 homes. The Assyrian local government has already declared the action a deed of extreme barbarity, and in addition to demanding support from the Ottoman Empire to push the Madan further into the marshes, called up some local militia forces, the Assyrian levies, who have largely assumed peacekeeping policing duties in the British-controlled regions of Basra Vilayet, order them to stand down. Do not. Well, we're definitely, like, things are gonna pop off here, undoubtedly. Undoubtedly. I'll do that. Why not? Who are these guys? Independents. Who are these guys? Conservatives. Yeah. We've done that twice. Conservatives. And now we're out of manpower. How are we doing on the sauce? Oh, we're so close. We're not actually that close. We also probably need to get working on tank stuff soonish. We're so close to 38. Also this early. Whatever. Doesn't matter. The Shamari situation. Oh, it's fairly well in hand, actually. What the heck? Rising support for the DF. The DF has seen a growth in popularity, mainly on the Anatolian periphery amongst the lower educated population, usually voting for the policies of Mustafa Kemal. This came as a surprise within the headquarters of the OHF and as the DF. To find an explanation for this phenomenon, Some observers have found a connection related to the name of the party itself. The party logo, a galloping white horse, comes from the strong resemblance of the foreign word Democrat to the Turkish words Demir Kirat. Iron Kirat. The horse, Kirat, was a character in a popular Turkish legend. It was the horse and trusted companion of Koroglu, a Robin Hood type hero who championed the cause of common people against an oppressive regime. Democrat and Demir Kirat were often interchangeably used, presumably, by the peasantry. Some pointed out that the peasantry began to view the Democrat Party as the supernatural hero protecting the rights from the detached aristocrats in Constantinople, just as in folklore that can't possibly have worked, right? Well, it didn't give me political power, so I don't care. Dude, bloated bureaucracy is rougher than I thought. Okay, we, quote-unquote, won. Good work. We did so much work doing that. I don't know why there is another rebellion. What are we doing? This worries me. That's independence again. How are we doing on independence? There's still 15 in the opposition. And this would give us 13. I think that's fine. Okay. Assyrian levies exact revenge for Al-Qurna. In retaliation for the murder of Assyrians and the destruction of their property, the Assyrian local government sent out the Assyrian levies to extract revenge in the Badon, burning down multiple villages and driving the Marsh Arabs further into the swamps and marshes of southern Mesopotamia. Their actions show a clear intent to forcefully dislocate the native population or to acquire more fertile land. The Wali in Basra has requested confirmation from the government to disband the Assyrian levies, as he fears that further actions could lead to a massacre. Massacre rivaling the Lebanese civil war, which took place only a few decades ago. However, he also sees in this the challenge of the opportunity to weaken the autonomy of the Assyrians and hasten their full integration in the new Ottoman society. Disband the levies, even if it costs a war. Alright, sure, whatever. Shamun, the 21st Ashai, pleads for the preservation of Assyrian levies. Patriarch of Babylon and de facto leader of the Assyrian community, Shamun, 21st Ashai, has pleaded for permission to maintain the Assyrian levies. Without them, he says, his people are fully left to the mercy of Muslim gendarme forces and no way to prevent the Marsh Arabs from murdering more Assyrians. Yeah. You have officially lost your independent police force privileges. This is Turkish nationalists. I'll take it. Alright, Assyria declares its independence. Alright. Assyrian government refuses demands. Continuing to maintain the levies are only thing between life and death for the Assyrian people. Rab, Khalia, Dawid, Damar, Shamun has rescinded the order from the Wali in Basra and mobilized his troops. Backed by the Church of the East, Shamun has declared Basra an autonomous region within the empire, has demanded the immediate withdrawal of the Wali's forces from the region, self-government for the Assyrian people, and the right to collect taxes independently, and further protection of the Assyrian Church from Shiite discontent. The Wali of Basra has, in response, mobilized the city's gendarmerie to disband the levies by force if necessary. However, he finds himself substantially outgunned and outnumbered within the city in Constantinople. The Grand Vizier is furious at this betrayal and has demanded all Mesopotamian troops mobilized to put down the Assyrian insurrection before foreign intervention in their favor can occur. Send in the army. Send in the army. Great. Declining social mobility and centralization of land ownership. For much of the history of our empire, land ownership was built on a system of common land, which was either owned by the state and then leased to farmers who paid a tax for its use, or owned by certain tribal federation. Also, to the significant disadvantage that those toiling in the fields often had little desire to increase the fertility of land or put much effort in general. Ensure that there were ultimately little large landowners. Reforms started already back in the 19th century as a part to encourage a more sedentary lifestyle for the sole nomadic tribes, have changed this concept to one where land registration became the order of the day, and where previous common land was in rapid succession, claimed by certain individuals and families. As such, creating a powerful caste of landowners. Iraqi and Kurdish regions have been hit hardest by this, as the various tribal figures exchanged their pastoral lifestyle for the bustling cities, claiming all of the land previously owned by the entire tribe as their own. A massive caste of farmers, through these actions, became landless almost overnight. With little other choice, either moved through the cities, causing trouble for the already stretched amenities of the region, or remained on the land and became subject to a modern form of serfdom. With a massive push on self-initiative, decentralization, and catering to the main electoral base, the landowners, reforms by the Liberal coalition have only aggravated the situation, leading to increased support by the impoverished lower classes for the grand aims of land reform heralded by the OHF and the rising Socialist Party in the empire. Not only is this causing a shift in the political landscape towards a more ostensibly radical point of view, revenues have seen substantial drops as well, due to widespread corruption at the provincial level and refusal of many groups to pay their share of dues to the treasury and Constantinier, a powder keg in the making.
Hazırım efendim. Emirleriniz için hazırım.
Huh. That works. Interesting.
Emriniz yok mu?
I didn't think that would work. But whatever. We're gonna wait till, wake me up when December ends, I suppose.
Emriniz.
All right.
Emriniz var mı? Efendim?
Yep, keep going. Okay. Clash in the Arab Gulf. Tensions between Constantinier and Tehran reached a new high this week as Persian customs detained a Dubai flag jalbout on travel from the island of Greater Thunb, sparking immediate outrage from the entire population of the Turkish coast. In a rare display of unity for the region, a squadron of the Ottoman fleet was dispatched to the region, anchored just before the coast of the Persian city of Lingah, sending an ultimatum to the Persian government to immediately release the passengers who were traveling under protection of the Sultan Caliph. Escalation ultimately brought forth a salvo from the Ottoman fleet, after which the white flag was hoisted on the shore. While the safe passage of Ottoman subjects in the Persian Gulf has thus been reassured by force, many are seeing this as yet another sign of nearing confrontation between the two former enemies, with unrest rising in Palestine, friction on the Kurdish frontier. May even seem that this confrontation is coming sooner rather than later. The Persians are playing a dangerous game.
Emredersiniz. Gitmeye hazırım. Hazırım komutanım. Harekete hazırım. Baş üstüne efendim. Hazır ol. Beni dikkatle dinleyin. Gitmeye hazırım.
If we take Basra and Kuwait,
Beni dikkatle dinleyin.
then everything is chill.
Gitmeye hazırım.
Then everything is chill. I just want everything to be chill.
Hazırım.
Alright, Puerto Rico declares independence. Syria capitulates, giving us, like, practically nothing. Thank goodness. Okay. Assyrian revolt crushed. Unsurprisingly, the Assyrian revolt has been crushed by a vastly superior army. Patriarch Shamun, the 22nd Ashai, has ordered his government to lay down their weapons. Our sources say he was spotted embarking on an unmarked Indian vessel bound for Lahore just before the fall of Basra. With this action, no organized resistance remains in southern Iraq. Ottoman might is once again victorious. Praise Allah. And we can, apparently... it just does that.
Emriniz.
Alright.
Emredersiniz efendim. Emirleriniz için hazırım. Emriniz var mı?
We are now in January, so we can officially research. I think I want to research, which is medium tanks. We want infantry tanks for the reason that you think that I want them. Anyways. Nothing like a swift victory to boost national fervor. Yeah. We'll shift power to the provincial assemblies. Oh, that's too fast. Alright, all my volunteers are back home.
Emirlerinizi bekliyorum. Emredersiniz. Gitmeye hazır. Baş üstüne efendim. Emirleriniz için hazırım.
My horses. Don't know what my horses are doing. I think I'm gonna keep my horses in reserve. There you go. Lots of co-prosperity spherage. Okay. Empire celebrates Epiphany, a Christian holiday also known as Three Kings Day in Western Christianity. Epiphany is one of the most sacred holidays of the Orthodox faith, which constitutes the majority of our Christian population. In Constantinia and Smyrna, the holiday is celebrated most openly by the symbolic Great Blessing of the Waters, wherein the Patriarch of the Greek Orthodox Church throws a wooden cross into the waters of the Golden Horn. A group of pious swimmers will subsequently endure its icy waters to retrieve the cross and deliver it to the Patriarch. Not just Christians celebrate this day, however, as the blessing of Muslim fishing ships occurs on the same day and is performed all over the empire, we honor the Son of God. Or if you're a Muslim, it's like a big deal prophet. Khiva's capitulated. We maybe are now in our conserve our strength mode. Logistics company, always good to have. Forgot to properly prioritize my forces. Soft attack's real good. Okay, not good. Formation of the Syrian Muslim Brotherhood. Inspired by events in Egypt under the leadership of the charismatic Imam Hassan al-Banna, and by the continued secularization and westernization of the empire, a small group of conservatives in Damascus have set up a Syrian branch of the Muslim Brotherhood, pledged to restore a real Arab caliphate to the Middle East and rid the region of Western decadence. Sheikh Mustafa al-Sibai has found a listening ear in the struggling population of Homs. Subsidies from the Egyptian court for his organization have shown to had an impact on its membership, but thus far, intelligence point out that it has remained a fringe movement within the greater Syrian political climate. Disturbing. The Assyrian revolt is a real ache in my pains, if you know what I mean. Expansion of the Vilayet reforms. While many were content with the changes brought to Vilayet law, some believe they didn't go far enough, especially in regions inhabited by large groups of minorities. There's a certain desire to have an institution separate from the provincial assemblies that only serves their minority group. Based on the millet system for religion, they ask that these are expanded and split up into more groups to better represent the interdenominational tapestry of our nation, especially within the Muslim category. This has proven problematic as Sunnis, Shiites, Alevi, etc. are all combined under one category without respect to their individual beliefs or languages. Support for this expansion, however, is minuscule at best outside the underrepresented groups themselves. Few want to grant extra rights to those groups, especially the question of the Shiites is problematic since the religion does not recognize the Ottoman Caliph as the supreme head of Islam. They believe the Shiites have no right to demand further autonomy. Should the Shiites be willing to recognize this position, then further discussion to be held. I can either break up my Baghdad, Basra. What are we doing in Baghdad? Low. Basra's low. It doesn't seem like a very good idea. Alright, time to repeal the unification decree. Actually, are there any way I can burn love from anyone? I like that they're like, we're fully liberalizing everything. And then it's like, actually, that broke everything. Okay. Literacy campaign would be nice. I would love to decrease. I feel like this is probably the route, right? We're gonna do that. Okay. Anyways.
Emriniz var mı? Efendim? Emredersiniz.
Anyways.
Toparlanın.
I feel like we actually don't need that many guys here.
Hazırım.
Is 10 enough?
Emriniz var mı?
8 might be enough.
Baş üstüne efendim.
Here's what we'll do. I built some infrastructure in Vaughn. Evidently, there's a bit of an issue there. Special Forces? Not doing that. I'm gonna duplicate you. All this infantry. I'm gonna edit the infantry. Artillery. Engineering. Logistics. A little more beef.
Emirlerinizi bekliyorum.
We need to start making trucks. Interesting. Nice. I can get bigger. Oh, I can get bigger. It's time to get huge. Protests escalate in Jerusalem. Called on by local Arab notables and leaders, a mass protest was held in the city of Jerusalem earlier today to pressure the council into the closure of the Jewish Immigration Office. Which recently expanded its operations. What started as a peaceful protest quickly escalated after some gendarmerie forces started cracking down on some of the leaders. In response, the protesters throwing stones at windows of foreign businesses and assaulted foreign nationals in the streets of the city. Eventually, authorities were able to subdue the protests before further violence could spread. But with resources spread thin, the action has scared the International Council that the situation might be far more explosive than we initially thought. This is an affront to our Muslim brethren.
Emirleriniz için hazırım.
Nice. Anyways, interesting.
Bana kulak verin.
The dreaded Unification and Coeducation Act was destroyed in Parliament earlier today. The decree, a testament of OHF intentions to reform the state into a secular and modern society, was seen by many conservatives as an insult to Islam itself, while many liberals saw its centralization program an attack on the millet system and the initiative of private individuals. With its abolition, the Liberal Coalition now hopes to both favor its support base amongst non-Muslim communities and throw a bone to conservative Islamists, on whom a lot of their support the Chamber of Deputies stands. We march on without turning back. Alright, I will see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.